All right. Hey, hey, hey. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Did everybody get a little bit of lunch? April Campbell. OMG. Am I on the wrong channel? So sorry. It's good to see you though. Really, for real, for real. Okay, let me go up and see who else here. We've got Lauren. Um, oh, hey Lee. How are you feeling? Thanks for bringing all the yummies and yummy yummies. I'm here for the all the yummy snacks. All of it. All of it. Yes, don't forget to put your DNA all over the like button, like, subscribe, all the YouTubey things. We would appreciate it if you're watching this on a replay later on today or tomorrow or a year from now. Put a hashtag replay in the comment section down below. Hey, Henny. Kel's like, who's Haley? Because QB always puts Haley. Hey, Sherry, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. April said, I heard there was fruit, so I'm here. Come and get you some. Ooh, Matt's bringing Chick-fil-A home. Nice. Nice. Did you put the thingy in timeout? What thingy? What thingy are we putting in timeout? La 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 la. Woke up not so good, but okay now. Don't that always suck whenever you have like some kind of sickness like that? It comes up as a heart with the blue hands, Kel, for me anyway. But the other ones, yeah, no. Kel's at work, can't say hi to everyone individually, but I see you. Blue hands holding the heart. Yeah. That one comes up as that one too, Kel. It comes up with a bunch of teeth and 2 hard eyes. So I ended up making some tuna salad and eating it on a wrap. I have a thing for the the Mission carb balance wraps. They're my fave. And that's what I'm having for lunch. All right. It looks like they have been back for a few minutes. So if y'all would like to get started, we will do that. Are y'all ready? Oh, my Walmart order has substitutions. Great. Thanks, Walmart. Are those good? We bought one once, but I didn't get to try it because hospital. The Mission carb balance wraps. Well, it's just the tortilla shells is all I get. And I use them for everything. I love them a lot. In the StreamYard app, it always describes, but Jenny is on the website. I just made that description up. No, some of them will show up that way. Like a lot of the ones that you guys use will have the words in parentheses with the little hyphen between the words. Like it's like they're keywords or something. Turquoise hair, wave, smile. But some of them will some of them actually show up in StreamYard. I don't know why. Just random ones. Like the heart with the blue hands, that one always shows up. The other one, the hard eyes with the teeth, that one shows up. Yeah, I don't know. Baby tortillas, yeah. I think these are I'd have to look. I think they're like the fajita wraps or something maybe. They're a little bit bigger than the like teeny wraps. Tortilla chips in the air fryer. Yes. All right, let's get started, you guys. Let me get over here. All right, I'm going to hit play and then scooch. Oh, there they are. All right, I will mute myself.
Thank you. Maybe seated.
All right, could we have Ms. Trayers, please?
If you might please step up and sit right down, and again, you've been previously.
All right, Ms. Giannetti.
Thank you, Ron. Good afternoon again, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
I believe you testified that you knew John O'Keefe as a prior customer in the bar, correct?
Correct.
And that particular night, John appeared to be in a good mood. Would you agree?
Yes.
In fact, John is a pretty good tipper.
I wouldn't really know.
But with regard to that particular night, there was one receipt that was introduced in Exhibit 54. You probably didn't take a close look at it.
No.
But if I suggested to you that there was a receipt for a total of $16.58 worth of drinks, and John put a tip down at $10, that'd be a pretty good tip, right? And do you need to see the receipt to confirm that, or?
No.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And that night, John's demeanor seemed fine. Would you agree?
Yes.
You didn't notice John buying drinks for a woman that night, did you?
No.
And with regard to your, sort of scanning the people that were there within that group, one of your duties as a bartender is to make sure that nobody's overserved, right?
Correct.
And so, while you don't watch every movement all the time, you do look for signs that somebody might be overserved, correct?
Correct.
And with regard to the group that came in, the receipts for which you were shown today, nobody really seemed highly intoxicated to you, correct?
No.
I might just have a moment.
Yes.
I have no further questions. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
No redirect, Ron.
All right, Ms. Trayers, thank you very much.
Thank you.
May I approach council table to deliver this exhibit back?
Yes, I was actually just looking for it, so yes,
Oh,
please.
that's right
Thank you.
here. Sorry.
That's okay. All right, thanks. All right, your next witness, Mr. Lally?
Your Honor, the Commonwealth will call Mr. Nicholas Kolokeithis to the stand.
Okay. Tori. Thank you. Thank you.
You solemnly swear the evidence you give to the court and jury in the case now hearing true, the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Thank you.
Whenever you're ready, Mr. Lally. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Could you please state your name and spell your last name?
It's Nicholas Kolokithas, Kolokithas.
And where do you live, sir?
Canton,
And how long have you lived in Canton?
21 years.
And who, if anyone, do you live in Canton?
My wife and 2 children,
What is your wife's name?
Karina,
And your 2 children, how old are they?
18 and 16.
Are they both girls?
Yes.
And do you work, sir?
Yes, I do.
What do you do?
I'm an attorney.
And how long have you been practicing as an
27 years.
attorney? And does your wife work?
Yes, she does.
And what does she do?
She's a pharmacist.
Now, if I could turn your attention to the evening of January 28th, 2022. Recall that date?
Yes, I do.
Were you working that day?
I was.
Were you working in the office or remotely? Or
We were hybrid. I was working remote that day.
now, as far as that evening was concerned, what, if anything, were the plans, and sort of what did you do that evening?
Sure. My older daughter was on the Canton High basketball team. So we were planning to go, I was planning to go to the basketball game, and I did go to the basketball game. Yes.
And where was the basketball game? Do you recall?
Canton High School.
And your daughter at that point, which team did she play for?
She was coming off an injury, and she was playing for both the JV and the varsity team.
So she was sort of swinging between JV and varsity.
Correct.
And so what time were each of the games that evening?
God, I think the JV was around 5 or so, and the varsity 6:30, 6:45.
And do you recall who they were playing?
Foxborough High.
And when you arrived to the game, as far as where is it that you typically sit when you go to a basketball game in Canton?
There was a group of 5 parents or so, including us. We generally sat together most of the games.
And who, if anyone else, was among those parents that you sat with?
Specifically,
Yes.
names, the McCabe's, the Fitzgerald's, Galleries, and Tom Beatty.
And these are people you know as sort of parents of other children that are on the team.
Yes.
And as far as that particular, is that who you sat with on this occasion, if you recall?
I believe so.
And your wife, did she come to one or both games?
She came to the second game, the varsity game.
And about what time did that game get over?
The varsity game?
Yes.
It went into overtime. It was a back and forth game. It later than usual. I don't remember the exact time.
1.
We lost. Foxborough won.
Now, following that, following the basketball game, where did you go from?
As usual, we waited for our players to come out, our daughters to come out, and they're the same group of parents were deciding if we should continue, go out somewhere, get something to eat. I was hungry. Anybody who knows me doesn't get between me and my food, so I was very hungry, so wanted to get something to eat.
And where did you decide to go?
Went to the waterfall.
Is that somewhere that you had been before?
Yes.
Now, with regard to the waterfall, as far as the other parents were concerned, what, if any, other parents from the ones that you described, as far as the ones you sit with at the game, who, if anyone else went?
Jennifer and Matt McCabe.
And how was that was that communicated to you as far as in person, via text, phone, or how did you come to the waterfall?
It was via text.
And so you get a text from who specifically directing you to sort of go to the waterfall?
So it was a group text amongst the 5 sets of families, and different ideas were bantered about in the group text, and I decided to go to Waterfall.
And when you get to the waterfall, being familiar with the establishment, where is it that you parked in reference to the waterfall?
I parked behind Washington Street. There's a small little parking lot. Waterfall shares a parking lot with other establishments and I believe condos, so I parked in the back.
And about what time did you get there?
I got there right around 9-ish, a little bit before 9 o'clock.
And who, if anyone else from that group of parents besides yourself in the caves went to the waterfall that night?
So walked in, it was a large table, probably about 8 to 10 feet long. In addition to Jen and Matt McCabe, there was Jen's sister, Nicole Albert, her husband, Brian Albert, Brian's brother, Chris Albert, and his wife, Julie. And there were others that I was just introduced to for the first time. So I don't remember their name, I don't recall their names, but there were others at the table as well.
And so as far as the other sort of basketball parents, were any of them there as well, beyond the McCabe's?
Beyond the McCabe's, no.
And as far as the other people who weren't, didn't have the last name McCabe, how did you know any of those? Or did you know any of those?
At the waterfall?
Yes.
I had met Nicole, Brian, Chris, and Julie prior, I think other basketball games, other events. So I knew them through the McCabe's, through Jen.
And the McCabe's had a daughter on the basketball team as well?
They had one of their daughters on the team at the time, yes.
And when it came to the McCabe's, there's Mr. and Mrs., what are their names?
Jennifer and Matt McCabe.
How long have you known Jennifer and Matt?
About 9 or 10 years ago, we met.
And at some point during the course of the evening, did your wife join you at the waterfall as well?
She did.
Fair to say you took separate cars, is that correct?
We did, yes.
And about how long after you arrived did your wife join you?
I want to say it was about a half hour or so. So around 9:30 she arrived.
Now, with reference to this table that you were referencing, about 8 to 10 feet long, is that correct?
Correct.
And was this a high top, low top? What kind of table is that?
It was a high top table towards the bar end of Waterfall. I don't know if it was the last table or second to last table right before you hit the bar.
And as far as the people that you described, the people that you knew or didn't know, where were they sort of situated around the table?
When I first walked in, I saw Matt, since he was the person I was most familiar with, Matt and Jen. Matt was standing towards the right side of the table as you're walking in towards the right side, so I went to the right side of the table.
Is that essentially where you stayed for the balance of most of the night?
Yes.
And your wife, when she arrived, where did she go in reference?
Initially, she came to me, said hello. I think she picked for my food. And then she gravitated, I believe, towards the left side of the table where more of the women were located.
And at some point following that, was there anyone else that you knew or aware of that came into the bar?
Yes.
And about what time was that?
Shortly before 11 or right around 11.
And who was that?
It was John O'Keefe and Karen Reed.
And these are people that you were familiar with prior to that date?
Yes.
And just to be clear, when we're talking about Karen Reed, do you see Ms. Reed in the courtroom today?
I do.
And could you describe this as to where she's seated or an article of clothing she's wearing?
She's seated at the table to my right, second person in from the right.
That's a record reflect identification of the identified witness.
Yes.
Thanks. Now, how did you know John O'Keefe?
John O'Keefe had adopted his niece and nephew. His niece is the same age as my younger daughter. And they were playing basketball together. They've been friends for years. So I got to know John through my daughter.
Now, as far as Ms. Reed, when was it that you met her? When was it that you became sort of aware?
Sure. I believe it was towards the end of the summer of 2020. I dropped my daughter off at John's place on Meadows. Karen was there. It was the first time I met her. So it was 2020.
And with reference to yourself and your wife as a couple and Mr. O'Keefe and Ms. Reed, how often would you sort of see them?
As couples, not too often. I would see John on a weekly basis during the basketball season, sometimes multiple times a week during the basketball season. But as couples, maybe a couple of times we had seen them.
So fair to say most of your interaction with them would be at sort of sporting events or things for the kids?
Yes.
Now, As far as on that evening, obviously you went out, you had something to eat. Did you have anything to drink as well?
I did.
And do you recall sort of what you were drinking that night?
Captain and Coke.
And as far as John O'Keefe, do you recall sort of what he was drinking that night?
Yes.
And what, if anything, do you recall?
Beer.
Is that sort of typical for Mr. O'Keefe?
From the occasions we happen to be out on events like that, yes.
Now, as far as Ms. Reed, what, if anything, did you observe her to be drinking at the waterfall?
She was holding a cup, a glass with a clear liquid.
And what was your understanding of what was in the cup with the clear liquid?
I don't know what was in there, but I don't know if it was water or alcoholic drink, but I don't know for sure.
Now, as far as the sort of general demeanor and atmosphere within the bar that night, how would you describe that?
Generally, it was a fun atmosphere. There was a live band. Everybody was in a good mood. I think people were singing to some of the music, so it was a fun atmosphere.
And specifically, you didn't observe anything as far as arguing or anything between Mr. O'Keefe and Ms. Reed, is that correct?
That is correct. I did not.
And you didn't observe anything as far as arguing or anything between anyone at the bar that night, is that correct?
That is correct. I did not.
And as far as Mr. O'Keefe was concerned, do you recall what he was wearing when he was in the bar?
Yes, he had a dark baseball cap, jeans, sneakers, and he had some type of top, a longer sleeve top.
At any point in time, did you observe him to have a winter coat or a jacket or anything like that?
Not that I recall.
As far as his clothing was concerned, what, if anything, did you observe as far as the condition? Were there any tears or anything in his clothing?
No tears, nothing unusual about the clothing.
And as far as Mr. O'Keefe himself, what, if any, injuries did you observe on him at that time that you saw him at the bar?
I didn't observe any injuries.
Now, as far as prior to them coming into the waterfall, do you have any idea of sort of where they were coming from?
Yes, I did.
And how did you know?
I knew through Matt McCabe. Matt had said that they were at Waterfall at CF McCarthy's, and they were heading over. We had the live band, and they were coming over to our place.
As far as the live band was concerned, about how loud was it in the waterfall during that time?
It was fairly loud.
Now, towards the end of the night, what, if any, discussion did you observe or were you a part of as far as sort of anywhere people were going afterward?
Again, we were at this larger, 8, almost 10-foot table, and most of the discussion was happening towards the other side of the table, but there were a couple of places that people were discussing about potentially going.
And what were those couple places people were discussing?
One was one was 2 D&Es, which was across the street next to CF McCarthy's, and the other one was 34 Fairview Road.
And as far as D&Es, are you familiar with that establishment?
Yes, I am.
And what is it and where is it in relation to water?
It's basically a sub shop, pizza shop. It's diagonally across the street from Waterfall.
And what, if any, relationship did the D&E Pizza have to anyone that you observed in the group?
Chris Albert, who was with the group, was one of the owners, if not the owner, of D&E.
And as far as going to that place afterward, who, if anyone among the group, had sort of mentioned that or was talking about?
I didn't hear specifically one person. It was just generally coming from the group. So.
Did you hear the defendant at any point talking about going there or wanting to?
I heard from others that she had mentioned about wanting to go there.
Now, you mentioned a couple of different places. What was the other?
34 Fairview Road.
And was it mentioned specifically as far as that address, or how was it referenced?
I believe it was mentioned. Brian Albert, the homeowner, had invited the group back to his house. I can't remember if it was come back to my house or come back to 34 Fairview, but that was his residence.
And so was that sort of an open invitation to the group at the table?
Yes.
And yourself and your wife, did either of you go to Fairview Road that night?
We did not.
And at some point, you left, you recall about what time that you left the waterfall?
It was shortly after 12 o'clock, maybe 12:10 or so.
And when did you leave in reference to sort of the rest of the group?
Sure. Matt and I stayed back a little bit. We helped clean up the table with the bottles and glasses. We spoke to the band briefly, told them how well they played. So we were a little bit later, maybe a couple of minutes later than the rest of the group.
And when you exited, did you know where your wife was?
I did. I knew where she was.
Where was she?
She was parked out front on Washington Street.
And so you were parked in the lot and she was parked on Washington Street? Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
And when you came outside, what, if anything, did you observe about sort of the weather or what was going on?
It was very cold, and it just started to snow. I don't even think there was a dusting on the ground or barely a dusting on the ground.
And so at that point, could you still sort of see like the blacktop on the pavement?
Yes.
When you got to your car, what, if anything, did you have to do to sort of get your car ready to go or clean off the car or anything like that?
I didn't need a scraper or anything. I just turned on my windshield wipers and it cleaned the snow off.
Now, as far as you mentioned that you and Mr. McCabe were sort of the last to leave from the group, do you know what order sort of the rest of the group had left in?
Generally, yes.
And generally, what do you recall?
There was a larger group that left right before us. I believe my wife was part of that group. Jen was in that group, and Karen was in that group.
You mentioned that your wife was sort of gravitated towards the other end of the table where some of the other women were at. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So who was, as far as the women that you're referencing, who was in that group that your wife was conversing?
I know it was Karen was part of that group, and Jennifer was part of that group as well.
And that'd be Jennifer McCabe, is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
Your Honor, with the court's permission, I'd just like to publish just a brief portion of Exhibit 53, this video. Gentlemen, if I could have Exhibit 53 up on the screen, and specifically if I could have from Channel 3, the second video down. And if you could put that at approximately 10:59 p.m. When it gets to 10:59, if you could just pause. Thank you. So, Mr. Kolakifis, what's up on the screen as Exhibit 53? Do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
And what do you recognize?
It's the inside of Waterfall Bar.
And before you on that desk, I believe there should be a laser pointer.
Yes.
So if you could just grab that and sort of click the button on top when I ask you to.
Yes.
So with reference to this video, do you see yourself within this?
Yes, I do.
You could just draw the jury's attention to sort of where you are.
Black and white shirt.
And from that specific area, sort of where you are, do you recognize anybody else in that sort of general area of the frame?
Yes, I do.
If you could just draw the jury's attention to who you recognize and where they are.
I believe that's Matt McCabe right there to my right and John O'Keefe to my left, in front of me to my left.
Now, that area of the table where you indicated your wife was with another group of women further away from you, where would that be if you see?
The numbering is there, so I can't really see, but it was towards this side.
And further down the table, is that where people that you were less familiar with, is that where they were?
Correct. Yes.
Ms. Gilman, you can take this. Thanks, sir. I have no further questions.
Cross-examination?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Mr. Kolakifis.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Kolakifis, you and I have never actually met.
We have not.
We've never had a conversation.
Have not.
We've certainly never had an interview about this case.
Have not.
So this is our first time visiting about this situation.
Yes.
When did you say you first met Ms. Reed?
I believe it was towards the end of the summer of 2020.
Okay. And that was over an event at
No,
his house?
I don't know if it was John's niece's birthday party or so, but I was dropping my daughter off at John's house.
Okay. That sort of dovetails into my next question. You and your wife and y'all's kids did have some sort of relationship with Mr. O'Keefe, Ms. Reed, and Mr. O'Keefe's niece and nephew.
Yes.
In other words, the kids got along well.
Yes, absolutely. And they still friends.
As the adults, you wanted to make sure that you could facilitate play dates, get-togethers, things of that nature for the children.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, do you remember a situation in which Ms. Reed had arranged a relatively elaborate 13th birthday party for Mr. O'Keefe's niece, a scavenger hunt of some sorts?
Objection.
So I'm going to see counsel at sidebar for this, please.
That was a quick sidebar. Like, she never gives any warning. She's like, you've got 2.nanoseconds to get to my bench right now, or so help me. So help me. So help me. So help me. Yeah, Steph, I've been sitting here saying beer in Boston over and over and over. I could pull it off, couldn't I? Beer? I need to get me some beer in Boston and drink it over and over and over.
Yeah, you're
Yes.
with regard to the last question I asked, you recall an event in which Ms. Reed had organized a relatively elaborate 13th birthday party for Mr. O'Keefe's niece, correct?
Yes.
And one of your children was actually invited to that.
Yes.
Did you actually go and accompany your child at the 13th birthday party?
I did not.
Did your wife?
I don't know. She generally keeps a social calendar for the kids, but I don't know if she did.
So it could have been a situation, Mr. Kolakifis, in which you just dropped the child off and
Yes, correct.
enjoyed the birthday party.
Correct.
Okay, fair enough. But you had no problems or no qualms with Miss Reed, Mr. O'Keefe being caretakers over your children?
Absolutely not.
You said that you didn't socialize as couples all that often, but there were times in which you did socialize with them.
Yes.
About how many times would you say?
A handful of times, maybe,
Okay, 5 or 6
if that,
over the course of how long?
since 2020 to 2022, 2 years, less than 2 years.
Focusing your attention more toward the end of that time period that you just mentioned, toward 2022, when you socialized with Miss Reed and Mr. O'Keefe, did you ever see any sort of tension between the two of them?
Not at all.
Did they seem like a normal and loving couple?
Absolutely.
They seemed like they were affectionate and normally affectionate with one another?
Absolutely.
Do you ever have any question about the nature of their relationship, any toxicity in the relationship or any overt indicators that they weren't getting along?
Not to my knowledge, not at all.
Matter of fact, you spent more time with Mr. O'Keefe.
Yes.
Anybody else in the force, correct?
Yes. Other than my wife. I mean, force of.
That's a good catch. You're going to pay for that later. Fair enough.
I get brownie points for that, right?
Let me see if I can restate it a little bit better. Between Mr. O'Keefe and Ms. Reed, you spent more time with Mr. O'Keefe.
Yes.
Fair enough. You knew that Mr. O'Keefe and Ms. Reed had rekindled a previous relationship from years earlier,
Yes, I did.
and you knew that Mr. O'Keefe was excited about that.
Yes.
I want to draw your attention to the late night hours of January 28th, going into the early morning hours of January 29th, if I could, specifically at the waterfall. Did you get to the waterfall before Mr. O'Keefe and Ms. Reed got there?
Yes, I did.
How long before?
So I got there around 9 and they got there shortly before 11. So 2 hours.
While at the waterfall, did you have an opportunity to speak with Ms. Reed or Mr. O'Keefe just in normal conversation?
Yes, I did.
You engaged both of them, as a matter of fact, didn't you?
Yes.
Was there a time in which Ms. Reed was actually singing John's praises that night?
Yes, I did.
What a great dad he was.
Yep.
Objection, move to strike.
I'm going to strike that. Next question.
At any point, did you have an opportunity to hear Mr. O'Keefe talk about Ms. Reed and the nature of their relationship or any events surrounding their relationship?
Objection.
I'm going to allow that.
I had heard that they were planning vacations in the future.
Were you aware of the time frame of those vacations in the future? Next week, next month, next year?
Objection, Your Honor. May we approach?
Jurors, feel free to stand up and stretch.
I agree, Henny. It is one big poop fest. It's a whole crap. Right, QB? It's a whole crap. Whole crap city. Whole crap city. Steph, I would love for you to do that. I know you're not going to, and I wouldn't expect you to, but it would be cool to go back and look to catch and see if there is a little routine, not routine, but what do you want to call it? A pattern, of cough, objection. Okay.
Yeah, you're right. Thank you. There was nothing eventful at the bar while you were at the bar with Mr. O'Keefe and Ms. Reed that comes to mind in terms of any kind of tension or fight that night?
Tension or fight? Absolutely not.
No argument that was audible to you?
Absolutely not.
You didn't see any body language between the two of them that would suggest an argument or a fight or tension?
In fact, I noticed the opposite.
Describe that.
They were affectionate toward each other, loving toward each other, and to the point where my wife even made a comment, why are you not like that with me?
You had something to live up to.
Yes. That's why I needed the brownie points earlier.
Huh. You hear that? Steph, I mean, if you want to, if you're bored and you're, piddling around and don't have nothing better to do, that's fine. I mean, I don't know. Do you think they had more objections yesterday or today or a few days ago? And see if there is some kind of a pattern? Breaking I don't know how breaking news this is. We all know Court TV on Twitter is like 20 years behind, but it says breaking, new details revealed in the murder of college student Lake and Riley. Hmm. Hmm. Anyway, I don't know if that's current or not. You can't trust Court TV on Twitter. They throw out breaking news and it's stuff that they like repurpose content months later. I hate when they do that. Could have happened before, but I didn't catch it. I missed this morning, but I definitely noted it yesterday. Hmm. Okay. Well, we'll get back to this. And yes.
I want to shift gears for a second and pinpoint another time at the bar. Was there a time at the bar where you noticed any individuals with their fists up and engaged in some sort of conduct that looks a little like this?
No, I didn't observe that.
You don't recall that?
No,
Sparring with one another?
not that I saw.
Wrestling?
Not that I saw.
Okay. I'd like, if I could, Mr. Kolakivas, with the court's permission, refer to Exhibit 53.
Okay.
There are several, Your Honor, so the court,
So if you're going to talk about it, talk it
I'm
sidebar.
not.
Okay, so
This is the clip ending in 5959 because there's several clips in
Okay.
53. We can have that up. With the court's permission, I'd like to display this to the jury at runtime 8:30, 8 minutes and 30 seconds.
all right, so what exhibit is this?
This is 53, and it's clip ending in 5959. May I play this for the jury?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm going to play about 10 seconds, Mr. Kolakivas, and then stop it and ask you a couple of questions.
Sure.
Okay, if we could pause. I just wanted to play a couple of seconds to see if you recognize any of what's displayed in this video.
Yes, I do.
How do you recognize it?
How do I was there that night.
I guess my question is, do you recognize this as being a surveillance video from the 28th going into the morning of the 29th?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I want to draw your attention to the individuals that are at the top. This, is that the green one? One more time. There we go. Okay. If I could draw your attention to the individuals at the top, can you name the folks that we're seeing and describe what they're wearing for the jurors so we have an understanding of who we're looking at?
Okay. That's me in the white and black. That's Matt to my right. A little hard of seeing, but I think that's John right there. And I thought I saw Karen earlier right in this area while you were displaying the video.
And what about the two gentlemen with their backs to us?
I know I met them that evening, but I can't tell from behind like this.
Understood. With the court's permission, could we just go ahead and play this through? I'd like to run it through to about the runtime of 11:08, but I'll ask that the video be paused momentarily.
11:08, so just one more second.
Runtime 11:08, so probably about 4 minutes.
Okay.
3 minutes, 4 minutes. May I?
Yes.
Thank you. Pause it. Having seen this run forward just a little bit, do you see an individual here with long hair?
So
It's
you're
hard for me.
squinting. Are you having difficulty
Yes,
seeing
I
this?
am having difficulty. Could you blow it up a bit or?
I don't think so. Our technology is good, but I'm getting a shake of the head.
My eyes are not good, I can tell you that.
Let's just go ahead and play it forward with the court's permission.
All right, but if
Oh.
you can't see it, I don't want you to guess.
So this, are you talking right here?
Yes.
That looks like Karen.
Okay. May we play it forward, Your Honor?
Yes.
Pause it. I ask you to draw your attention to the two gentlemen in the foreground, right there. Can you describe what they're doing?
It looks like they're in a stance that you described earlier with fists up.
Objection, Your Honor. May we approach?
Okay, so I'm sustaining that objection, but come on out.
Okay, so you guys, is this like a real fight between these two guys, or are they just playing around? And who are these two guys? Or, I mean, what are their names again? If you all know. Because I get all these names confused. I get them all confused. Speed watch as I can and take timestamps and see if we see a pattern for sure. May take me a bit if I'm going back to the beginning, though. Well, like I said, Stephanie, that's completely up to you. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But yeah. I hate for you to have to do that because I know you're already busy enough as it is. You're already plenty busy. Busy, busy, busy. Mhm. Okay, they're back.
May I, Your Honor?
Yes.
Another question, and if you're having trouble seeing, just let me know. You see the person in the far right?
Yes, I do.
Who's that?
Me.
And what do you seem to be, or what do you appear to be looking at, if anything?
I appear to be looking in that direction.
Okay, can we go ahead and play this forward? Pause. Just go keep this, do you recall engaging in the two men, engaging with the two men in any sort of conversation, the two men, their backs facing to us?
I mean, I can see it. I honestly do not recall it, but yeah.
Do you recall ever being introduced to those two gentlemen?
Yes.
Who are they?
Brian Albert, Brian Higgins.
And which one is which, left and right?
Left is Albert, right is Higgins.
We'll go ahead and play this. How's it? Mr. Kolakithis, can I draw your attention to the upper right? Do you recognize any person facing the camera in the upper right corner?
Yes, I do.
Who is that?
John O'Keefe.
About 30 more seconds, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, we've paused at 11:08. If I could ask a couple of other questions, and I think we can leave the lights down because I'm going to ask another, with the court's permission, another clip be played. Mr. Kolakithis, you indicated that you don't recall the events that you're seeing. Is that still the case, or has your recollection been refreshed about what you were witnessing?
I honestly don't remember what appears to be play fighting. I don't remember that.
If we could move to runtime 1636 with the court's permission.
Okay.
Right. Your Honor, when you play 1636. Go ahead. And pausing. Do you see yourself in the upper right-hand corner?
Yes, I do.
And do you see the two people, the two individuals, Brian Albert and Brian Higgins, in the foreground?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Pause it. Do you see at this point, I know it's difficult, do you see John O'Keefe anywhere in the frame at this juncture?
I do not see him.
Okay. Okay. Pause. And now taking a look at the individual in the top of the screen, do you see that person?
Yes, I do.
Who's that?
John O'Keefe.
And what direction? Is he facing us or facing away from us?
He's facing us. It looks like he's facing us.
So he would be facing the two individuals with their back to us?
Yes.
And it appears to be standing across the table, across the bar table.
Yes.
I'm going to play that for a second. And let's pause. With that, I would ask you who this individual is from the coat,
My wife.
hanging on the coat.
It's my wife.
Okay. And are you still in the same spot, upper right-hand corner?
Yes, I am.
And where's Mr. O'Keefe?
Across. He's now facing the other way,
Thank you.
away from us.
We can take this down. With regard to what you just saw, the second incident of what appeared to be two individuals touching each other, did you engage in any sort of roughhousing or play fighting that night?
I did not.
Did you engage in any grappling or wrestling that night?
I did not.
Did you see John O'Keefe engage in any wrestling or grappling or play fighting?
I do not recall him doing that.
Or do you recall him doing any sparring?
I do not recall him doing that.
Do you recall him ever putting his fists up toward any other person in that bar that night?
I do not recall him doing that.
That's all I have for this witness, Your Honor.
All right.
Oh, if I can have
Any,
just a moment, I'm sorry. I'm going to get that in, 1636. I'm fine. Thank you, Your Honor.
all right, Mr. Lally, any follow-up?
Just briefly, Your Honor.
Mr. Kolakithis,
As far as your observations of Mr. O'Keefe and Ms. Reed and their relationship, you saw what they sort of depicted in public, correct?
Yes,
So fair to say, do you ever have any sort of substantial conversations with either Mr. O'Keefe or Ms. Reed about their relationship?
a personal relationship? No, I did not.
Anything as far as your personal relationship with your wife, is that something that you would have shared or discussed with Mr. O'Keefe or Ms. Reed?
I'm not sure. Are you asking me if I knew something about their relationship I would share with my wife or vice versa?
No, what I'm asking is from the other side. Okay, so you didn't discuss really Mr. O'Keefe and Ms. Reed's relationship with them, correct?
Correct.
And so what I'm asking now is you didn't discuss your own relationship with your wife with Mr. O'Keefe or Ms. Reed, correct?
That is correct.
Now, with reference to what you were just shown up on the screen, that was so memorable that you testified you don't have a memory of it, correct?
Which part?
The, whatever that was between two individuals play fight.
I do not recall that.
And as far as yourself within that video, did you observe yourself appear to sort of be laughing while that was going on?
I did. I don't know if I was necessarily looking at them or the other side of the table, but yes, I did observe myself laughing.
Nothing further.
Your Honor, may we approach briefly?
Okay.
I don't know. What do you guys think? I feel like this dude totally worked for the defense. I mean, most of the witnesses so far have kind of been neutral, like meh, take them or leave them. But this guy kind of yeah. Like, what's the point? I don't understand. Why the prosecution would have even put him up. I don't get that. I don't know. I don't know. Doesn't make any sense to me. What say you guys? Hey, Morgana Banana.
Mr. Kolakithis, just one more question. You testified previously at another hearing that Karen Reed, quote, was actually singing John's praises about how good of a person he was, a father figure, for taking in the kids several years ago and, you know, being there for them and praising them and sacrificing his life to raise them, end quote. You remember saying that?
Yes, I do.
Is that true?
100%.
Thank you. That's all I have.
All right, Mr. Kolakithis, you are all set, sir.
Thank you.
Your next witness, Mr. Lally?
yes, Your Honor, I'll call about the call Miss Karina Kolakithis to the stand.
Okay.
Okay, so this coming up would be that man's wife, I believe. I think this woman's, if that's his wife, she was the one that was there in the fur coat. I know. Another one. Another why. Another what's the point?
Can you raise your right hand? You solemnly swear the evidence you give the court and jury in the case now and hearing should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Thanks.
Okay, whenever you're ready, Mr. Lally.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Could you please state your name and spell your last name for the jury?
It's Karina Kolokithas, Kolokithas.
And where is it that you live, ma'am?
I live in Canton.
And how long have you lived in Canada?
We lived in Canton for about 13 years. 21 years.
And when you say we, who, if anyone, do you live in Canada?
I live with my husband and my 2 daughters.
And what's your husband's name?
His name is Nicholas.
And how many daughters do you have?
I have 2,
And about how old are they?
18 and 16.
And do you work, ma'am?
I do work.
And what do you do for work?
I'm a pharmacist.
And your husband works as well?
He does.
What is he?
He's an attorney.
Now, if I could turn your attention to January 28th and January 29th of 2022, all those days.
I do.
And do you recall what day of the week those were?
It was a Friday and a Saturday.
And specific to the Friday, did you work that day?
I did work that day.
And after you left work, where did you go?
I went to the Canton Junction.
And why did you go?
We got a text saying some parents from the varsity team were going to be meeting up there. So I thought it would be a good idea to go and stop by and grab something to eat before the game.
And when you say varsity team, which sport?
It's basketball.
Was that your older daughter or younger daughter that was on that?
My older daughter played on that team.
And so at some point there was a game for the varsity girls basketball team.
That's correct.
And where was that game that night?
At Canton High.
And do you recall who they played?
They played Foxborough.
And do you recall when the game was?
You mean time?
Yes.
6:30.
And so you mentioned that you went to the Canton Junction for about an hour. So about what time did you get to the Canton Junction?
I believe I got there around 6. I'm not sure.
And following the Canton Junction, where did you go?
Went to Canton High to watch my daughter play.
And within sort of the stands at a Canton High girls varsity basketball game, were there certain people that you would typically sort of sit with when you watch the game?
We just sit with whoever we knew. Usually it was the parents of the girls that played on the varsity team.
And who were some of those parents?
Some of them were the McCabe's, the Fitzgeralds, people like that.
And the McCabe's, what are their names?
Jennifer and Matt McCabe.
And how long had you and your family known the McCabe's?
I think we've known them for about 9 years or so.
And did they have a daughter on the team as well?
They did.
And so you arrived to the game, as far as your husband was concerned, did you observe him there?
He was there already.
And where did you go to sit?
I went in I don't exactly remember where I went to sit in the vicinity of my husband and those parents.
And following that game, where did you go from there?
So after the game, we went, usually at the end of the game, you'd go down, talk to the players, congratulate them, and then I told everybody I was going home.
And did you in fact go home?
I did go home.
And after you arrived home, what, if anything, happened?
I started getting text messages from my husband, and he said that some of the parents were going to go to grab something to eat, and I should go.
And what, if any, hesitation did you have about that?
I was tired. I worked all day. Pretty much I was done. So I had already almost started changing out of my clothes, and I said I wasn't going to go.
And eventually, did you decide to go?
My kids told me to go. They did. They actually, they said to me, you never go out. You don't do anything. Dad's by himself. You should go and just keep him company while he eats dinner. So that's what I did.
And so based on that, you decided to go?
I did, reluctantly. Sorry, reluctantly I went, yes.
And where is it that you went?
So that's when I went to CF, I'm sorry, I went to the waterfall, sorry. A little nervous.
And is the waterfall, is that somewhere you had been before?
I had been to the waterfall before.
And where is that located in the town of Canton?
It's on Washington Street in Canton.
And so obviously your husband was already there, you took separate cars, is that correct?
That is correct.
And about what time is it that you got to the water?
I believe I got to the waterfall around 9:30 at night.
And where did you park your car in relation to the waterfall?
So I actually found parking right on Washington Street, and I was across the street from the waterfall.
And when you arrived and when you came in, who, if anyone, did you recognize sort of when you first came into the waterfall?
So I walked into the waterfall, and there, pretty much, I didn't know anybody except for Matt McCabe, Jennifer McCabe, and my husband.
And if you could describe for the jury sort of when you walk in the door, people that you knew as far as your husband and the McCabe's, where were they in relation to you walk in the door, where are they?
So you walk in the door, there was a band in the front playing, and then there were high top tables, and they were at the back of the high top tables.
And if I was standing sort of at the doorway of the waterfall, the entrance way in, and facing those high top tables, which side were your husband and the McCabe's on from that perspective?
On the right. I believe the band was playing on the, if you walked in the door, the band was in like the top part of the, like on the left, and they were on the right.
And the band that was playing that night, fair to say, was fairly loud in there?
It was extremely loud in there, yes.
And as far as, obviously you're at a bar, people are drinking, is that correct?
That is correct.
And what, if anything, did you have to drink that night?
I drank water that night.
And why was that?
I typically don't drink a lot. I suffer from migraines, so one like alcoholic beverage sometimes can set me off for days. So I chose water.
Now, as far as that high top table that you went to with your husband and the McCabe's, were there other people at that table?
There were other people there.
Did you know or recognize any of those other people?
So it was pretty much all of Jennifer McCabe's family. I did not know them, maybe had seen them around town and stuff like that, but I didn't know anybody other than my husband and Matt and Jen.
So fair to say that you sort of gravitated or stayed towards that end of the table?
That is correct. I talked to them for a bit, and then I think Jen started introducing me to some people, and I met some of her family.
Now, as far as sort of the overall sort of demeanor within the bar that night or within the group that you were at the high top table with, how would you describe it?
Everybody was happy, having a good time.
No arguments amongst anybody at any time that you saw throughout the entire time you were there?
The whole time I was there was no issues at all.
Now, at some point later on in the evening, who, if anyone else that you recognized or knew came into the bar?
So I believe I was actually about to leave, and that's when Karen and John came in.
And just to be clear, when you say Karen, you mean Karen Reed, is that correct?
That is correct.
And just to be clear who we're talking about, do you see Karen Reed in Portland today?
I do.
And could you just identify as to where she is or an article of clothing?
She's sitting right there.
That's a record reflect identification.
Okay.
Now, Mr. O'Keefe, John O'Keefe, how did you know him?
So John, his niece and my younger daughter were friends.
We're friends, our friends?
They are friends.
And about how long had you known John O'Keefe?
John, we've probably known for 8 years or so.
And if you recall, when was it about that you had met the defendant, Ms.
Reed? I met Miss Reed at, I'm not sure exactly I think the first time I met her was at Jen McCabe's house.
And if you know about when was that in reference to his date of January 28th, 2020?
I believe I met her sometime in 2020.
Sometime in 2020 at Ms. McCabe's house.
That is correct.
And how would you describe sort of the nature of your relationship between either yourself and Mr. O'Keefe, or yourself and who did you know better, Mr. O'Keefe or Ms. Reed?
I knew Mr. O'Keefe better. We saw him all the time. My daughter would have play dates with his niece. My husband coached basketball that his niece played on his team. So he was a great guy. We saw him all the time. Yeah.
And prior to this date of January 28th, had you ever been in any kind of social setting out with the defendant, Ms. Reed, before?
I had not been, no.
And do you recall approximately what time it was that they came in and you were about to?
I believe it was around 11 o'clock.
And at some point, did they, and by they, I mean Mr. O'Keefe and Ms. Reed, did they make their way over to where you were seated at the high top?
They did. So they walked in and John did his rounds, said hi to everybody, came, gave me a hug. And they headed towards us. Yes.
And when they came over to you, what, if anything, happened?
John was really happy. He started talking about Kaylee and how she had just gotten into Bishop Fian. And he was just very excited. You could tell he was super excited about that.
Now, as far as Mr. O'Keefe was concerned, what, if anything, do you recall about what he was wearing?
I believe he was wearing a baseball hat, jeans, sneakers, some kind of top.
And what, if anything, do you recall about sort of a jacket or anything like that with him at any time that you saw him that night?
I don't remember a jacket. I remember like some kind of light shirt, something like a light hoodie-ish kind of. I don't remember a jacket.
As far as his clothing was concerned, what, if anything, do you recall about the condition of it? Were there any sort of tears or disheveled?
He looked fine. Nothing about his clothing stood out to me.
Now, as far as what you observed as far as interactions between the defendant and Mr. O'Keefe that night, anything out of the ordinary that you observed while you were at the bar?
The defendant. Say that again.
As far as their interactions between Mr. O'Keefe and the defendant, anything out of the ordinary that you observed between the two of them that evening at the bar?
I saw nothing. I did not see anything.
And extending that sort of to the entire group at the high top table that you were with, anything that you observed sort of out of the realm of the demeanor that you've already described at any point in time?
No, everybody was having a great time.
Now, with regard to sort of where you were positioned at the high top table in regard to Mr. O'Keefe, was he closer to your end, or where was he located?
I'm not sure. I don't know where he ended up going. I know that Karen stayed with me. And then I'm not sure where John went, but I know he was talking to the guys probably.
So Mr. O'Keefe was moving around a bit, talking to different people.
Yes.
And Ms. Reed was down towards where you were, is that correct?
That is correct.
And who, if anyone else, was sort of down your end of the table? Who were you talking to when Ms. Reed came up?
It was Jen McCabe,
So
the three of us.
when Ms. Reed comes and joins, is essentially Ms. Reed, the defendant, yourself, and Ms. McCabe.
That is correct.
And when Ms. Reed first comes up, what, if any, conversation did she have with either yourself or Ms. McCabe?
She started talking to Jen first, and then they had a conversation, and then we started talking.
That first sort of initial conversation between the defendant and Ms. McCabe, did you hear any of that conversation?
I did not. It was loud. I don't know what they were talking about.
Now, as far as, obviously you're at a bar and people are drinking, what, if anything, did you observe Mr. O'Keefe be drinking that night?
I believe he was drinking beer.
And as far as Ms. Reed was concerned, what, if anything, did you observe her to be drinking?
She was drinking something out of a clear glass, perhaps.
So clear glass with a clear liquid in it?
Correct.
Now, as far as through any conversation that you had with either the defendant or Mr. O'Keefe, did you have any understanding of sort of where they came from prior to coming into the water bowl?
So they had come from across the street.
And what is across the street?
From the bar, I think, so it was C.F. McCarthy's.
And so as far as the conversation that you, at some point in time during the course of the evening, you had a conversation with Ms. Reed, is that correct?
We talked for quite a while.
And during that time that you were talking for quite a while, as far as, was that strictly sort of the two of you, or was Ms. McCabe involved in those conversations as well?
Miss McCabe was involved with those conversations.
So just to,
It was the three of
the
us.
three of you are talking.
Hmm.
And with respect, to the defendant's relationship with Mr. O'Keefe, what, if anything, did she say about that?
So she started by saying how much she admired him, how much how much he did for the children, just how she looked up to him for that. She started with that. Well, she started talking about my kids first, and then she started talking about John.
So she spoke about your kids,
About my daughter, yeah.
a little bit of a glowing fashion, is that correct?
She did. She always had a way of like saying I don't know, she seemed to love my younger daughter, and she said that she really liked my daughter's relationship with John's niece. So she first started with that conversation, and then she went on talking about John and his relationship.
And then after she talked a little bit about that, what, if anything else, did she talk about?
So she started talking about how much he sacrifices, how he's like unconditionally puts all his time and effort into the kids, how she admired him for that, and how she also wished that some of the family members would step up and help out a little bit more, because he took all the burden on himself.
And what, if anything, else did she say about that in relation to sort of their relationship?
Just that she wished they had a little bit more time to, go out, go on dates, go on vacation. But she did mention that they had planned a trip or something like that, that she was excited about.
Now, about what time would you say it was that you left from the waterfall?
I think everything started wrapping up around midnight.
And prior to that, what, if any, discussion did you hear or were you a part of as far as anybody talking about where to go next?
So I think everybody was having a really good time. So there was conversation first about where could people go, and there was talk about maybe going across the street to the pizza place.
And what pizza place is across the street?
There's a pizza place called D&E Pizza, and the owner happens to be there that night. So I think someone brought it up, or there was some conversation amongst the group like, hey, let's go there. And he said no.
And what, if anything, did you hear the defendant, Ms. Reed, say in reference to going in?
She just seemed like willing to go.
Is that something that she mentioned once or more than?
I believe she mentioned it more than once, but I don't remember like at this moment, but.
Is your memory exhausted as to that?
Say that, could you rephrase that?
Memory exhausted as to that particular point?
I believe it was more than once. Is that your question?
That's my question.
Yes.
Now, other than that, what, if any, other discussion was there as far as where people were wanting to go or intending to go after the war?
So after that was kind of, put to rest, then I think there was discussion about, well, Jen McCabe brought up, let's go to my sister's house.
And is that somewhere that you or your husband, to your knowledge, had ever been to before?
We had never been to her house before, no.
And was that something that was sort of a private invitation, or was that sort of open to the group at the table?
I think it was said out loud, like, hey, anybody wants to go, we can go to my sister's on Fairview. I wasn't specifically invited myself. I just think it was put out there.
And did either yourself or your husband take anyone up on the invitation? Did you go to Fairview after the waterfall?
We did not go. I actually said to him, there's no way we're going anywhere. We're going home.
And just to be clear, by him, you mean your husband?
My husband, yeah.
And around the time of midnight or so when you were leaving, who, if anyone, did you sort of walk out with initially?
So I believe, let me think. It was always Jen, myself, and Karen. So we brought up, and Karen went over to John, something like that. He like put his arm around her. I don't know if they had a conversation, they talked. It seemed like they were like quite lovey-dovey at that point. And then that's when Jennifer McCabe went up to Karen and said, you're coming with me. Like, and she like grabbed her, like she put her arm around her and she said in front of me, she's like, you're coming with me, you're coming with me.
And just to be clear, like sort of how she said that, was that in sort of a forceful way or
no, like joking around, like, hey, you come with me. We're gonna, and then Karen said, where are we going? And Jen said, it doesn't matter. It'll be a surprise. Like it was like something like that.
And did the three of you sort of walk towards the door to the parking lot together?
Yes.
And where was your husband at this point?
He was behind. He was with Matt McCabe. They were helping the band like clean up and get their stuff together. And it was the three of us in the front, meaning the women.
And at the initial time when you're walking out, you and Ms. McCabe and the defendant, where is Mr. O'Keefe?
I'm not a little bit behind us. I'm not sure.
Not directly with your group, but
Not with us. No.
now at some point you get outside of the waterfall, is that correct?
That's correct.
And at some point when you're outside of the waterfall, do you see Mr. O'Keefe at that point?
I did. All of a sudden, it was weird. I see Karen with John, and I was like, oh, that's weird. I thought she was going with Jen. And that's just what made me notice it. It was that the whole, like, Jen wanting Karen to go with her, and then all of a sudden I see Karen with John. I just thought it, I was just like, oh, so it made me notice it.
And so you proceed to your car, I'm presuming on Washington Street, correct?
That is correct.
And if you recall, which direction was your car facing, like down towards the waterfall or away from the waterfall?
It was away from the waterfall.
And who, if anyone else, did you observe walking in the direction of Washington Street at the same time as yourself?
That's when I saw Karen and John walking.
And they were walking in that direction as well?
Correct.
Did you see them approach or get near to some sort of vehicle?
It looked like they were walking towards a black SUV of some sort.
And have you seen either the defendant or Mr. O'Keefe in relation to a dark or a black SUV prior to that date?
I believe I had, yes.
And whose car did you believe it was?
I thought it was Karen's car.
And which side of that vehicle did you observe Karen walking to?
She was walking to the driver's side, but again, I was more concerned about crossing Washington Street, and there was a little bit of snow at that point. So I didn't see, like, I saw them walking in that direction, like her going to the driver's side and John going to the other side, but I didn't see anything after that.
And were they on the same side of the street as you, or the opposite?
They were facing the opposite direction.
So you were facing away from the waterfall, they were facing towards the waterfall, is that right?
They were just like, we were in different directions. So I was like, it's hard to explain, but they were facing, like I was facing up and they were facing back.
And different sides of the street, is that correct?
That is correct.
And then you got in your car when you left, is that correct?
That is correct.
And around that time that you left, I think you alluded to it, but when you got to your car, what was the weather like at that point?
It had just started snowing. You could see the street still.
So you could still sort of see the blacktop through whatever snow was on the ground.
That is correct.
With the court's permission, I'd just like to publish what's been marked as Exhibit 53, just a couple of portions for that on the screen for this witness.
Okay.
And Ms. Gilman, if I could, I'd ask first for the second video from Channel 3. And again, if I could ask for approximately 10:59. And if you could just so Ms. Kolokithis, do you recognize what's up on the screen?
Yes.
And what do you recognize it to be?
That's the waterfall.
And is this a video that you've seen on a prior occasion?
Yes.
Now, before you, ma'am, there should be a laser pointer. If there's any need for either myself or another attorney, all I would ask you to do is just sort of press that button on it and direct it at the screen.
Okay.
Right.
Yep.
So from this video, first of all, as far as the people in the video, do you recognize anybody in the video?
It's really hard to see, but it's you want me to point?
If you recognize anyone, I would ask you to draw the jury's attention to
So-
that person and explain who that is.
Oh, sorry. That I believe is my husband with that. Maybe I'm not sure.
So if you don't know, or if you can't tell, or you don't know the people,
I'm not sure.
okay.
It's hard to tell.
Now, this is Kolokithis, just from up on this video, you recognize sort of the table that you were at or around on the evening of January
Yes.
28th.
The high top. Yeah.
And if you could just direct the jury's attention to, generally speaking, which side of the table that you spent your time talking to Ms. McCabe and the defense.
So, like, if we're pointing to here, I'd be on that side, like the left side of the table, if you want to call it the left side.
And the area where the band was,
Is
if you could.
The band is here, like, that's what I meant, the left, yeah, on the front.
And if you know the front door area, sort of where is that located?
So it's like right there.
And Ms. Gilman, if you could just run this video from 10:59 to 11 p.m. Thank you. Ms. Gilman, if you could take that down, with the court's permission, I would ask for, from the same channel 3, the 6th video. And Ms. Gilman, if I could direct you to 12:09, 50 seconds. Again, Mrs. Kolokithis, you recognize what's up on the screen as just later on in the evening at the waterfall, is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
And is this towards the end of the evening?
Yes, it is.
And fair to say that the lights have been turned up, so it's a little easier.
So
to
now
see things?
I can recognize a few more people.
And so from what you can see up on the screen now, if you could, using that laser pointer, just direct the jury's attention to anybody that you recognize.
Oh, okay, so that's me right there, and then my husband is right there, Nicholas, and I don't know if that's Matt, Jen, and I can't tell because of the barcode up there.
With the date and time
But
stamp.
yeah, I can't see who that is.
And Ms. Gilman, if you could play it from this.
Oh, I see John too, sorry.
Please go ahead.
And I see John, John's right there.
Thank you. Ms. Gilman, if you could play it from this point till 12:11 and 4 seconds. Ms. Gilman, if you could pause it right there. Now, as far as, this is the record, we're at 12, 10, and 38. See sort of three individuals going towards the front entrance.
Yes,
So you just have to say.
yes.
And with respect, if with that laser pointer, if you could just identify for the jury who, if anyone, you recognize from that group.
Okay, so that's Jennifer McCabe, that's me, and that's Karen.
So you're walking sort of towards the exit at the same time, right?
Yes.
Ms. Gilman, if you could. You can pause that, Ms. Gilman. There's another individual sort of making their way to the doorway. Do you recognize that person?
Yes, that's John.
That's John O'Keefe.
John O'Keefe, yes.
Exiting from the wall.
Correct.
Ms. Gilman, if you could just play the last 2 seconds. Okay. Now, Ms. Gilman, if I could ask you from the same exhibits, but from channel 1. And the third video down on channel 1. If I could ask you to fast forward to about 12:11. Essentially, what I'm going to ask Ms. Gilman, if you could play this from 12:11 and 0 to 12:11 and 25 seconds. But I'm sorry, first, if I could ask you to just pause it for 1 second. And I know it's an awful time to pause it, but before the flag blew in front of the camera, do you recognize what's depicted up there?
Can you repeat the question,
What's
please?
in this video generally without what's blocking the camera right now? Do you recognize what?
It's the exit,
So that's the exit to the waterfall?
correct.
Thank you. Ms. Gilman, if you could. If you could pause right there. Individual sort of down towards the bottom of the frame. Do you recognize who that is?
It's Karen and John.
So that would be the point in time where you say they sort of link up at the front door and then walk towards Washington Street?
That's correct.
And if you could, just with reference to the screen that we're looking up here in Exhibit 53, where is Washington Street? Where you had parked and where you observed Mr. O'Keefe and Ms. Reed walking?
So, okay. Trying to think of the buildings. That's the back parking lot where where you see the cars, and you have to take a left.
So directly in front of where Mr. O'Keefe and Ms. Reed are standing is the back parking lot, and then to the left is Washington Street?
Yeah, I think you have to walk that way.
Okay.
And then you'll hit Washington Street.
Ms. Gilman, if you could just play through 25 seconds. You could pause there. Have you seen an individual in the parking lot area?
I do.
And do you recognize who that person is?
I believe it's Jennifer,
By that you mean, I'm sorry, Ms. McCabe?
Miss McCabe.
And Ms. Gilman, if you go to the last. Thank you. Ms. Gilman, you can take that down, please. I have one moment, John.
Yes.
I have no further questions for this witness, Your Honor.
Okay, cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Hello.
You and I have never met.
We have not.
We've never had a conversation.
Never.
We've certainly never interviewed
Nope.
together.
Never.
So this is our first time speaking.
Yes.
I want to direct your attention to part of your testimony on direct examination when you're questioned by Mr. Lally. You indicated that before Ms. Reed and Mr. O'Keefe left the bar, Ms. Reed had been making some statements about Mr. O'Keefe.
Okay. Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
You indicated that she said that she admired him,
Yes.
that she looked up to Mr. O'Keefe.
Yes.
She always had a way of complimenting him.
Yes.
That he took so much responsibility on as it pertained to the children,
Yes.
and that she did wish that they had more time together.
Yes.
They planned a trip together,
Yes.
and she was excited about that.
Correct.
And she indicated that John was excited about that as well.
Yes.
Just before leaving the bar, you indicated that Jennifer McCabe said to Miss Reed, "You're coming with me," correct?
Yes.
She didn't say, "You and John come with me."
No. Correct.
That was directed just to Miss Reed.
Yes.
You're familiar with the town of Canton generally?
Yes.
You know that the distance between the Waterfall Bar and 34 Fairview would be maybe 5, 6, 7 minutes drive.
Probably.
So just after these statements were made, they went to 34 Fairview. 5 minutes later, 7 minutes later, they'd be sitting in front of 34 Fairview, correct?
Correct.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay. All right, Ms. Cole, anything?
Just very briefly, Your Honor. So Mrs. Colakithis, with reference to your relationship with John O'Keefe, as far as what you were relaying was what the defendant had said to you at the bar that night, correct?
Correct.
And fair to say you didn't have any conversation with Mr. O'Keefe in reference to relationship or trips or anything like that?
Not that night. No.
And as far as your relationship with Mr. O'Keefe is, do you have any sort of discussions at any point in time about sort of his relationship with Ms. Reed or anything going on in that relationship?
He didn't tell me personal things. No.
Didn't have that type of relationship, correct?
Correct.
And this time out on January 28th, that was the first time that you had been out socially with the defendant, Ms. Reed, correct?
Correct.
And so as far as what went on behind sort of closed doors at their home or anything like that, you didn't know anything about?
I did not know.
Nothing further.
I have one question, Your Honor, if I may. But what you did observe between the two of them that night, to use your words, they were lovey-dovey.
They were.
All right, Ms. Cole, keep this. You want all.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
So it's quarter of. Why don't I see counsel for just a minute? Jurors, feel free to stand.
I don't get it, you guys. I don't get it. So wait a minute. How old would the girl be, his niece that he adopted or whatever? How old would she be now? Anybody know? I'm wondering, that can't be
And
her,
it makes sense
right?
to let you go a little early, and we'll start fresh. Okay, so please do not discuss this case with anyone. Don't do any independent research or investigation into the case. If you happen to see, hear, or read anything about the case, please disregard it and let us know. We'll see you tomorrow morning.
Jurors, closing your notebooks and leaving them on the chairs. Gather your belongings. Follow me. All rise. Hurry up, please.
Goodbye.
May be seated.
Any evidentiary issues I need to be concerned about tomorrow with this next witness?
Not for the Commonwealth.
Your Honor, we have, I believe, provided every exhibit that we intend to introduce through this witness. They are all photographs and or screenshots that we would have lined up. I'm happy to show them to Mr. Lally in terms of the specific ones that we would be using before we leave today.
Okay, so just so it's clear, anything you intend to introduce, you have to show them in advance.
I know, we've provided them is what I said originally.
So,
And I certainly will show them before I show them to the witness. What I'm offering is to show them now before we break.
yes, so I'm telling you that, yes, show them to him before we
That's
break.
exactly what I suggested.
Anything that you intend to show us, introduce tomorrow.
Sure.
All right, thank you. All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
All rise for the court, please.
Remind me, it's that you got.
Wow. You think maybe it is Proctor? You think? Oh, I don't know. Kel, you said it. Bam. She says, all that work for nothing. Prosecutor, you're doing splendid. Right? Margaret says, I have to laugh because at 11 a.m., I'm usually asleep already for almost 3 hours. Lacking substance, the prosecution is in every way. I agree. Henny and Lauren agree also. Maybe it is Proctor. I don't know. But, like, what do you think about, do you think that it's possible that they could be, like, trying to, like, reverse psychology all of us and the jury and the defense and be playing dumb? So that then when they do drop their bombshell isn't really as big as they're acting like it's gonna be. And so whenever they do drop it, it'll be a little bit more, um, bombshelly. Does that make sense? I don't know. QB said it seems like they have a lot of interest in the evidence being brought for that witness. Yeah. I don't know. Steph says, did they get Caitlin yet? I don't know. I still have quite a bit to catch up on from while I was gone. I don't know that I'll ever get caught up. I started watching some last night on QBU at 1.5 is hilarious. Kel says it makes sense, but if there's too much of a buildup and takes too long, it loses effectiveness. Yeah, I get that. And it has been long. I mean, already. Like everybody they're calling, are they like anticipating that one of them is going to be like, oh my God, they used to fight all the time? I mean, I would see her put her hands all over him and she'd, you know, do this and do that. And she told me she was going to run him over with her car. You know, I mean, is that what they're expecting? Or do they know that these people are going to get up there and they're going to be like, yeah, they were lovey-dovey. She says great things about him. She loves his kids. She loves my kid too. She's super sweet. I I I don't get it. I really don't get it. I just don't understand what they're thinking. I don't understand what they're thinking. I don't know. The prosecution should have specific purpose for calling each witness. I don't see their point. Right, Kel, and they brought up all these people from the bar. Why bring this woman that was just there and her husband before her on the stand? Why even bring them? I mean, if anything, the defense should be the one to be bringing them to tell how lovey-dovey they were. Why would the prosecution bring them on? They didn't go to the house. They had never she said she had never, been at a social, like, super, like, social with Karen before. I think she said it was her first time meeting a lot of those people. Like, why even bring them? What, because he's an attorney and she's a pharmacist? Like, what? I don't understand. Um, Steph said it's all quite lackluster to me, right? Margaret's having a snooze fest. Kel says showing how they were lovey-dovey shows how unlikely it would be for her to have done this. Right. So I don't know. 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 Oh. QB, what are you doing at the moment? QB, what are you doing at this moment? Ah-cha-cha, ah-cha-cha-cha-cha. I was wondering, QB, if you're not busy, if you want to jump on panel and share that Willow listing. You were writing a nasty gram. Maybe I should take a break. Oh, what did I say? Willow? Oops. Zillow, Willow, Hakuna, Matata, Potato, Patata. I don't know. Who are you writing a nasty gram to, ma'am? I think you are having a super salty day today. Don't be a salty heifer. Mm, there she is. There she is, the most beautiful girl in the world. You want me to bring you up or You're going to bring yourself up. I don't want to bring you up if you're not ready. So, yeah. Kel says, Willow is the name of my boss's dog. I could share a pic with you, Jenny. Aw, cute. Willow. Miss King says, but interesting enough, the prosecutor has not called any of the Alberts that was there that said we can go to my sister's house, right? I'm wondering, I'm like, oh, bring you up? Okay. I am really wondering when they're going to be calling all these people up. Like Jen McCabe, is she on the witness list? Hi.
Hi.
How are
Um,
you?
I'm fine.
You're not being a salty heifer.
I am not. I'm standing up for myself. I don't know what you mean.
Oh, okay. Well, you said you were being
I was
nasty.
writing no. I said I was writing a nasty gram. To them, they're gonna feel like it's a nasty gram. To me, it's just informational.
Oh, okay, okay.
Hi, Lauren.
Well, I
Um,
thought that you were just being super in your feels because you like cussed the courtroom to filth today and
I didn't cuss them to filth. I did not. I used acronyms, ma'am. Just because everyone in the chat knows what they are does not mean
what is
that
BFD?
BFD, big effing deal.
Oh, okay.
Like, we don't give two craps. Not family stuff, work stuff. I'm about to tear some stuff up. Not gonna lie.
Uh-oh.
Not gonna
Uh-oh.
lie.
Uh-oh.
Not gonna lie. So, anyways, first, let me answer Miss King. Miss King, the Alberts are all on the witness list for the prosecution. Whether they'll call them, I don't know. I mean, if they're saving their bombshell stuff for last, they might want to ante up because this ain't it. This ain't it. Why is my phone going crazy? Nate.
Yeah, I know my watch is going crazy and it's Nate.
So, oh, it ain't even about that stuff. Let's do a story time. Y'all ready? Y'all ready for this? All right.
Dum
So,
dum dum da da dum 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 da da da
okay,
dum.
let me ask you a question.
Okay. Okay. Where'd she go? I had my head down and I looked up and there she was not. There she was not. There
Kidding
you are.
me right now.
Huh?
I'm trying to get on the computer, but I don't have the thing on my computer. Stand by.
Okay.
Stand by your. Did you just okay me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just making sure that my phone ain't doing something stupid. I did, however, ask my dude if he's working this week, and he is. So I'm gonna try to go see him. I can't guarantee because let's see if this does it. Do this do it? Do this
Your
do it?
dude, what are you talking about?
My AT&T dude. Y'all yelling at me about my
Oh,
phone.
gotcha.
Did it just bring me into something else? The what? What the what? You a whole lie. Hold on a second. I'm not ready. I'm not prepared.
You're
Okay,
a
anyways,
whole
so let's pretend for a moment that you get a job offer.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. And I hear you popping. I'm using your sweet pea ones right now.
Mm.
Um, so oh Lord, let me not share my video. God bless America. Okay, you're gonna see another QB pop up, but just ignore her.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So, okay, you get an offer for employment, right? Right. Okay. And they offer you $100 an hour. I'm using a
Mhm.
ridiculous amount. That way nobody knows how much anybody's making, right?
Yeah, I say, daggone, I'll give me a job for $100 an hour. Okay, let's
Right.
go.
Okay. So $100 an hour, right? But part of okay, this is going to be convoluted. I'm going to try to make it really, really easy. Okay. I'm
Mm.
not even going to put in the differentials for different shifts. I'm just going to say for your base rate. Okay. So
Okay.
you can make $75 per hour and get benefits. Okay.
Mhm.
Or you can make $100 per hour and not get benefits. Maybe you got your own benefits. Maybe you don't want their benefits. Maybe you don't give two craps or a big crap or whatever. Did I say big crap? A whole crap? A whole crap? I didn't say big crap. Bye,
I
Steph.
think you said a big crap. I don't know.
I did
But
just now, but I said a whole crap yesterday.
yeah.
So, all right. So I have my own health insurance, and it's good insurance, and it's affordable for me. I don't want their insurance, so I choose the $100 per hour. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, the next year when they do their budget, they decide that it don't fit in their budget for that. Oh, wait, let me go back. So when and I just confirmed this just to make sure, I'm like, you got anything in writing that says what my base rate is? No, we agreed to that verbally. Okay, that's what I thought. We have a verbal agreement as to what my base rate is. Okay? It's not, there's no agreement anywhere that says it's based on me opting out. There's no agreement anywhere that says that it's based on it will be reevaluated. Nothing. My base rate is my base rate. It's not $100 an hour, but we're using that for an example. Okay.
Right.
So come the next year, now they're like, everybody has to re-sign their opt-out form. Okay. And there's an itty tiny little caveat at the bottom that says your that it'll be any benefit, any additional payment or something like that will have to be agreed to and evaluated each year. Okay, that's not on the original form. I have the original form. I'm looking at it. So what
Okay.
they've done is they sent out an email to everybody and they said, by the way, it don't fit in our budget no more for us to give you $100 that we said that was your base rate for opting out. So now we're going to pay you the $75 per hour and we'll give you like $5 for opting out.
No. Well, that's a ripoff.
Do you think? So you just took $20 from me,
An hour out of your pocket.
an hour out of my pocket. That was my base rate. That was my hourly rate that I'm being paid. Because it don't fit into your budget. That sounds like you got a budget problem to me.
Mhm.
But what you don't have is anything with QB's signature on it saying that she'll work for that amount per hour.
Right.
Now, see, I could give two craps right now because I'm on leave. So my hourly don't change because it's based on what I already worked, not what I will work.
Right.
But I'll be danged if I'm going back for less money because I'll be danged if I'm going back for less money. So that was the nastygram that I was writing because I did, and I'm strategic in how I do things. I'm like, so hey, I got your information. Do you have this? No, okay. I found it. It's okay. Do you have something in writing that says what my base rate is? No, we had a verbal agreement. Oh, did we? We had a verbal agreement. Okay, so you confirm that we had a verbal agreement for my base rate. Awesome. So there's nothing in writing. Got it. So now I'm writing an email.
Now this email is going to be the one that says,
by the way, you ain't got crap that says that you can reduce my rate. And if you want me to sign this form, they have literally, Jenny, sent 3 times a day. A day. Y'all need to sign that opt-out form. Don't forget to sign your opt-out form. You need to sign it. You know why? Because it says going forward each year, they can reevaluate it to whatever they want. So let's say next year they decide, ooh, it ain't in the budget. So we gonna pay you $60 an hour. What? What?
yeah, that's not good.
It's very not good. It's very bad. It's very
What I
bad.
was going to say
And
is you were being super nice QB, and now you're getting ready to write this email, and you have the old QB coming up out of your toe, out of
I
her
got
toe.
I got paralegal QB is right about my thigh.
Yeesh.
Paralegal QB, actually, she already made it to the brain because I've already written 3/4 of the email. And it's very kind. It's very nice. It's very businesslike.
I'm sure it is.
Bye, piano practice. Have fun. Learn something great. Oh yeah, it's very professional. It's just no.
Wait, what? What's piano practice?
Margaret.
What?
Margaret's going to go to piano practice. Good chat.
For real? For real? That sounds like fun.
Oh, you weren't here. Oh, you weren't here. Yeah, she's got piano practice. She went last week. Saturday maybe.
Oh,
Yeah. What you learning today? Are you still working on the same song? What you learning, Margaret? Let's get out of the QB legal.
like beginner piano?
Nah, she
Or
was
like
playing some kind of serious song the other day. Now I don't know if she was playing it with two fingers, but I can't remember the song she was learning, but it was a serious song. I used to play
it's not
piano.
it's not that
No, or dun 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 dun. That's I play piano.
I never played piano. I played the
I
flute though.
played the oboe as well.
I played a flute. I'm learning
Georgia
Georgia
on
on
my
my mind.
mind. Yeah, ragtime piece. Okay, Georgia on my mind. Chopstick. Yeah, that's chopstick. Yay, I can sing. Um, Georgia on my mind. Yeah, see, she for real, for real. She for real, for
Oh,
real. She for real playing. They don't teach. That ain't beginning. Georgia on my mind ain't beginner stuff. That's
uh-uh.
two-handed. That's two-handed stuff.
That's two-handed and a pedal stuff.
Facts. Couple pedals. There's three
Mhm.
of them. You
Yeah.
probably got to fluctuate to them. Did I tell you that? Okay, wait a minute. Story time. My grandma plays piano by ear. She has never read a note of music ever in her life. She
Mm.
plays for the choir. She also plays the accordion and the piano at the same time.
What?
Yes, ma'am.
She's like a regular is it Harpo Marx?
She is
Who's
amazing.
the guy that plays all the
Is it
things?
Harpo? I don't know. I play by ear too.
I get confused on
And Manchild plays by ear. Anyways. Do you want to go to the reason why I'm here?
yes. We could
We should
have
have a
Margaret
recital. Yes.
play while Lenore sings.
There we go.
Holy cow.
Yes. We should do that. Have a recital.
Oh, that would be so awesome. Mm. Okay. So, let's get back to your
Yep. No, let's be done with that. I'm gonna take care of it. It's fine.
No, I mean,
Let me pull it.
I want you to, cause I feel bad, cause I felt like I was trying to be funny, haha, because you were, like, giving
Because I was
the
spicy. I was
cause you was
spicy
giving
today because he wasted a
yeah.
whole daggone day. He wasted a whole daggone day. We learned nothing except for John likes beer. Okay,
In a
Officer
bottle.
O'Keefe likes beer. They all drink beer from the bottle. Okay, they have no issue drinking and driving. They were place barring. Okay, it was cold out, but it wasn't snowing yet. Um, and
He only had on a gray and
great,
dark
great.
colored
He didn't have
hoodie.
no puffy jacket. Now, why are you pushing now? Now, why are you pushing? There's no puffy jacket because the defense brought out there was no puffy jacket because your first witness said that he had a puffy jacket and you couldn't cut that because the puffy would go everywhere. And he's right because it's filled with down and it's feathers and it would go everywhere.
Mhm.
So yeah, but yeah. So now, so what? So okay, they were lovey-dovey. She wished they had more time. They argued because she spoiled the kids. Sounds like regular mom and dad stuff to me. Even though I know they weren't. Well, they weren't either one of their kids, but she jumped in and helped.
Mhm.
When COVID hit, she stayed home because she could work remotely.
And did the homeschool thing or made
Yep,
sure the kids
yep.
did the
Made
homeschool
sure that
thing.
they did the homeschool thing. So, I mean, what are you saying? They were lovey-dovey. There was no fight. And I get they were like nobody was fighting, right? Nobody was fighting. But if you look at that group, Officer O'Keefe was on the other side from those two guys.
Yeah.
He was all the way on the other side. And if you're saying there was no fighting, that means nobody was fighting. Nobody was fighting. Karen and John were lovey-dovey. They were planning a vacation. She was
Mhm.
excited about it.
Mhm.
She gonna kill him then? What? The math ain't mathin'. The math ain't mathin'. So that's how I feel about it. But let me show you. Y'all want to see this? Why do
So
I have
I
to
want to
type?
know, ooh, Spin sings also, but not professionally. Aw, Lauren
Oh,
said she learned to play piano and
Spenzy.
guitar a long time ago, but I can't do it anymore. It's too long. Aw.
Okay, right. So that's the other thing, Miss King. Everybody has testified to and has said in reports and everything else. She was drinking a tall drink in a clear glass with water, okay, or with a clear liquid with a lime, okay. Now she has already said that she had a drink, okay, and everybody has all said that her drink of choice is vodka tonic, okay, great, and that's what a vodka tonic looks like:
Mhm.
tall clear glass, clear liquid with a lime, okay.
Mhm.
Might be fizzy, usually, maybe. They got club soda, I don't know. But anyways, so but yes, MS can make you seem like you've had been drinking, but also drinking with MS can cause a problem, drinking excessively.
Oh, wait, she has MS?
Yes.
Why didn't I know that?
That's mostly what's wrong with her face. And all these people see I'm salty today. And it ain't about this work thing because that just started like coming to a head this afternoon. I'm salty because they wasted. First of all, they're wasting money prosecuting this case. Okay, they are putting people through this crap where they're reliving this stuff. Not the last two, but the first two, where they're reliving this stuff. Okay, and being heartbroken and everything else all over again. That am I still on?
Put a 1, yes, put a 1 in the chat if you had no idea that Karen Reed had MS.
Yes, she has MS.
Kel didn't know either.
Oh,
Mickey
Mickey
didn't
George.
know, Bill didn't know, I didn't know, Henny didn't know. Has this already been brought out in the trial?
I think it was mentioned briefly, but not like it was barely touched on. It was a
Spence
quick
is like,
blurb.
too, I knew she had it. I
Um,
had no idea.
so this whole thing that's been going on the interwebs, okay? People are angry and say she looks guilty because of her face. What kind of
Well, now,
it did
hold on a
come up
minute, hold on a minute.
what?
I said
No.
the other day that she had RBF.
She does have RBF. That don't make her guilty.
No, but I also didn't know she had MS.
So she do have RBF. Part of it could be from the MS. Part of it could just be her face. She might have RBF. That don't mean she killed nobody.
Right,
But these
right, right.
people on the interwebs are like, she just looks guilty. Look at her face. Look at your face.
Mm.
Yeah, it was brought up. It was brought up like very briefly. It came
Billy
out.
didn't know.
See, Miss King said it came out early.
Sherry heard it somewhere. Mickey said she didn't know nothing.
Lauren heard it but for last week when it came. It came up, but
And
it was
then
very quick.
Morgana said she's also had a bunch of surgeries on her colon, huh?
Yeah, she's had a lot of health issues.
No
So
idea.
my point in all that is one, her face. Leave her face alone, not you. I'm not talking about you, Jenny. She has RBF. I'll be the first one to say she got RBF. I got a cat with RBF. You think she killed somebody?
QB, God, I love you so dang much.
I'm just
I
saying,
cannot
like,
help it. You kill
I
me.
don't understand these people online going, I think I mean, like numerous chat rooms talking. She looks guilty. She's got RBF. Yo. See, that's the thing. Okay, so that is the conundrum, Miss King, because there's resting bish face, but not bish.
Yeah, Henny,
Resting female
RBF
dog
is
face.
resting
Female
biatch
dog face.
face.
Yes. So Miss King, that's the thing, because there was talk that people were buying shots, which, okay, I'm all over the place today. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm hurting. Okay. Okay.
Mm.
And I'm a little spinny today, but Morgana, you do not, well, no, I'm just kidding. You don't have RBF. um so here's my thing. The word on the crime streets was that people were buying shots for everybody. Okay.
Mhm.
That hasn't come up. That was just the word on the streets. All right.
Okay.
I do have a cat with RBF, and it's fantastic, right? Isn't it? Her face is fantastic. I love her. I am spinzing. I'm squirreling. I do that. I'm a little stressed out, and I have ADHD, and it's what I do. Anyway, so the word on the street was that people were buying shots. There's a video in one of these bars where someone is pouring a shot glass into another glass, like from her. Okay.
Okay.
So it was said that possibly she had either been drinking and switched to water, or she was always drinking water, or whatever, but she was trying not to hurt these people's feelings that were buying shots. And and
Taking the
that's why
shot and then dumping it in another
right, and
glass
then
with
dumping it in
something else.
another glass, right. So my thing is that if you know this person, and they all knew her, okay, some of them more than others, okay,
Mhm.
if you know her, then you know she has MS, and you know she's probably not drinking.
Mhm.
So why are you buying her shots? Okay. 2, exactly, Morgana. If she was so drunk, why did you let her drive? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Jen McCabe says, "Oh, come with me, come with me." Miss King, do you have MS? Sorry, I'm being nosy. But she's agreeing with what I was saying, and it makes me think. That's a HIPAA. Well, it's not HIPAA if you tell us, but I'm just saying. Anyways, so
Can I clear that up? The HIPAA thing. Don't
yes,
the HIPAA law only go into effect for medical people and doctors and nurses and people in the medical field? Like they can't go out and say something about
technically, but really, HIPAA is a protection of your medical records from being given without your consent, or to people that are not allowed to have it, which means um but means, like, if you could fault someone for that, especially someone in a position of authority. Yeah, it's definitely, it absolutely applies to medical personnel, but it can apply to others as well. She said the HIPAA. You talking Boston? Are we adding H's to everything now? Is that what you've done to everybody?
HIPAA.
Over and
HIPAA.
over and over again.
Yeah, I like to drink beer. Oop, hold on.
Oh,
I
all
like
right,
to
Miss King.
drink
I'm sorry, I was being nosy.
beer in Boston over and
And
over and
over and
over.
over. Oh, thank you. Can you look at it? I don't think there's any
Can you take this real quick? I've got
perishables.
a phone call I have to grab.
Can you put that in there? Don't put it in the door. Put it. I got it. Yes, I got it. Hi, y'all. Hang on. put it on the bottom shelf because that's for M. Thank you. So okay, so going with that, so they were pushing drinks on her, right? And then Jen McCabe says, "No, you're coming with me. You're coming with me." Now, could she have been saying, "You're coming with me" because she thought she had too much to drink? I guess. But more likely, was she setting it up for her to go with her, John to go with them, or John to go to the house to make sure? Because none of them knew that she wasn't going to go inside of the house. They had to assume, and I'm just saying, this is my tin hat. This is taking it way further. But that maybe they were trying to make it so she wasn't there because they didn't know she wasn't going to come in. Know what I mean? Know what I mean? I'm just saying. I want to wait for Jenny to get back. I'm going to share my screen. I've got pictures of the house that I want to share to show y'all, kind of show y'all the yard and stuff. But then also, oh dang, trying to get this right. But then also, I want to show you the inside of the house where they would have been standing, so you can kind of see. It was weird because Lank was saying about how sorry, I'm doing two things at once and it's not working. It's not working. Medical, yeah, Mickey Jordan, medical personnel, it absolutely covers. Absolutely 150%. Medical personnel, hospital staff, anybody that works inside of a medical facility that has access to medical records has to be fluent in HIPAA. I believe police can be held by the HIPAA standard. EMS, fire, first responders, anything like that. Yeah, they all are. So here's a question. All right, while we're waiting for Jenny, do y'all know what prompted HIPAA? Let's see if y'all know. Oh Lord, my battery's hot again. Okay.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay. I was asking, all right, Lauren, love you. Sleep well.
Where'd she go? There she is. Oh, which one am I supposed to be putting up? This one or that one? I'm so confused.
That one. Don't touch
Okay.
it.
Don't touch it.
Don't touch it. Hi Joey, love you. Okay, so this was staff that went to a party and told someone my mom's diagnosis. I called the hospital and flipped out. They sent a letter saying her rights were indeed violated and they fired the person. Good, they should have. Absolutely. 150%. So I was asking a question before you came back. I was asking if anybody knows, not medical people. Oh, Kel said, I'm sure I've learned and forgotten. Okay. Well, even if you're medical people, does anybody know why HIPAA came about?
No.
Anybody? I'm gonna count to 10. Okay. HIPAA came about because of Ryan White. I don't know if y'all know who Ryan White is.
Okay, yeah.
Yes. So So Ryan White was a young kid who
He was the
got
young,
AIDS
yeah.
through a blood transfusion. And it wasn't really, nobody really knew about AIDS at that time, not much. And they pretty much broadcasted it all over to everybody. And it caused a slew of problems for him.
Hmm.
And so HIPAA Health Information Protection Act. I always say Act because I can't ever remember the second A. Came from that. Anyways, so do you want me to share my screen?
Yeah. I want to take a look at it.
And I'll
And then
explain
I want to try to get off here in the next,
Yeah.
I don't know, like 5-ish minutes.
Okay, I'll be quick.
Because I got somebody I have to call back. So
Okay, I'll be quick. Is it your wife?
maybe, potentially, maybe.
That child, I'm putting her in a bubble. I'm putting her in a bubble.
Not that one, the other one, the one that's
Oh,
across the
the
several
pond.
ponds.
Okay, I was being nosy. Well, your
Yeah,
other wife.
the one across several
Accountability
ponds.
Act. Thank you,
So
Spence. Sorry.
I went to the retreat and she didn't know about the retreat. And then I haven't talked to her in a few days. And then when I'm live, she's driving to work.
Driving
And
to work,
so
yeah.
I never get, like, we don't get to chat anymore. And so I'm like, if I can call on an early day, I just need to check in with her because I can't, yeah.
Right. I love this thing. Says screen sharing is easiest with 2 monitors. You want to send me another monitor, StreamYard? Come on now. I barely got one set up. All right. So, can y'all see this? Let me see if y'all can see it. Oh, you can. Yay. Now, here's where I'm not positive. Can you
Just
make
please
it
don't
bigger?
dox yourself. Just please don't dox yourself, okay?
I'm not doxing myself.
Okay.
If I do, you're going to have to edit it out. I already tried to yesterday.
Jolie Mae.
Jolie
Sorry, guys.
Mae. Hi. Oh, you're right. Look at Spins knowing stuff. She's right. They changed it. It used to be called something different. It was never Act. I can guarantee you. So this is the front of the house where Officer O'Keefe was found. Can y'all see my mousy mouse moving around? You can. Okay.
Yeah.
So over here, well, actually, like here, okay, maybe even like here is where the area where he was found. Okay. But the part that I wanted to show you, okay, also see these bushes right here? This whole thing is no longer there. They took all that out. But right in front of there is where Officer O'Keefe was found. And then
Okay.
back over here is where the flagpole, I think, is like right here, and the fire hydrant is like over here. Okay. But what I wanted to show y'all was this is the front entry. Okay. This is where Lank said that he came in, right? And he spoke to them, and everybody was disheveled, right? Because they were not awake. And so he stood right here by the stairs. Remember, he said I was standing by the stairs?
Yeah.
Okay. This right here
Yeah.
is what goes down to the basement.
Okay.
But he said he thought nothing of asking to look around or look anywhere or go downstairs or whatever because he didn't see nothing that made him think. No probable cause, the dead body out in the front yard. But this is literally right here
there.
is where the downstairs. So let's keep going. There's really nothing. This is just
It's a
all
pretty
pictures.
home.
It's a gorgeous house. They sold it for $950,000. Yeah, they sold it for like $100,000 less than what it was appraised for. Not like they were trying to get out of it or anything. Nice
Hmm.
bathroom. Oh, nice laundry. Oh, look, it says laundry sucks. I'd take that laundry room. Oh, pretty bedroom. Pretty. Oh, that's nice. I haven't been through all these. So let me. So this might be the basement, I think. I don't know for sure. This is the back. Now the pool's been filled in. Pool was filled in before they closed it. Wonder why. Could there be a dog in there? I don't know. What?
Really?
I'm just saying. Why would you fill in a pool?
Oh my Lord.
Why would you fill in a pool of a house that you're gonna sell?
Yeah, why wouldn't they
Maybe
want
they
the
didn't know
pool?
they were gonna sell. Maybe they didn't know they were gonna sell it. Now the word on the crime streets is that the pool was filled in. I don't know what year these pictures are from.
Yeah.
$905,000 house and it's only 5 bedrooms, 2,300 square feet. Y'all got a lot of nerve. Y'all got a lot of nerve. So look here, if it'll let me. Where is foyer? Dining room. These are the stairs. Let's see here. One of these.
I'm not
Floor.
good at looking at those floor
Yeah, I
planning
am. I
things.
read plans all the time, but I'm not seeing. Oh, that's the door. Okay, my bad. It's not this one. So when he comes into the foyer, okay, that picture that we were looking was looking to the left, and I said this was the door that went down to the basement. That's not it. It's this one right here. So he was standing right here next to the stairs, and this door is what goes down to the basement.
Okay. Can we go back and look at that picture real quick?
Yeah. So go back up here.
I'm gonna mute myself real quick.
Okay.
Because I need to get this child's microphone out of here.
Oh, hi, ma'am. It's not telling me what that is, if that's the basement or not. So the door would have been right here, I think. I don't think it's this door. They were saying it was this door, but I don't think it's this door because on that plan, knowing what plans are, that appears to be a closet. See this right here where it says where it's got the stairs? That's what stairs look like. So if this was stairs going down to the basement, they'd have that.
Mm-mm. Can't hear you, QB. You bounced, ma'am.
Hey, I'm back. So they were saying that, okay, let me go back because I don't know what you heard. They were saying, do you see this is stairs?
Mm-hmm.
This is what stairs look like in a floor plan, no matter where they are. See here? You see them coming up?
I think the main front door is right across.
It's right here.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
is it. So you would come in here. Now, I'll show you on the picture in a second, but when they were looking at this, they were saying that this was the stairs down to the basement. But that cannot be because there's no stairs drawn here.
Mm-hmm.
There's none of these. But there is a door here. Okay? So I feel like that's the sign for a door. Okay?
Yeah.
So I feel like this has to be the stairs going down to the basement, which would make sense because if you don't know about construction, when they build a house, they make section for the stairs, so there's no beams or any, load bearing walls or anything like that going through there. So if you look, you got the stairs coming up here to the second story. They're not showing. Oh yeah, okay. So this is floor 1, floor 2, floor 3. Okay, look at the cubic. Look at the thing. Okay. All right. This is the basement. Just the basement. See the stairs right here? So I
Mhm.
was right. They're coming in underneath those stairs. So that exercise room and the bonus room and the systems room, which I don't think there was a picture of, that is all part of the basement. So we'll go back and look in a second. So now you said 5 minutes, and I'm a whole lie because I did not. Oh, let me not give you all the things.
You watch what you're doing, ma'am.
No, it's okay. I have everything shut so that I don't bog down my Wi-Fi. So this is that picture we looked at before. This right here is the front door. For the love of Pete, why are you doing that? This is the front door here. Okay, so they would have come in here. They were saying the internet peoples were saying that this was the door to downstairs. That's a closet. Based on the floor plans, that's a closet.
Yeah.
The picture or the stairs going to the basement, the door would be right here.
Do they
Well, you
not have
can't see it.
another view or
I
angle of that?
don't think so. This is the living room. No. Not that I can tell. It's the patio. Kitchen. See if it's off the kitchen. What's that? No. Doesn't look like they do. There's the laundry. This is all, I think this is all upstairs, but I was trying to get, okay, so this is the part of the basement, and this is part of the basement.
Mhm.
This cat, for the love, what did you throw down that I can't find now? Oh, my, I go looking for my headphones. It flew across the room. I'm just not
Kel
getting
said
it.
it has a small, high window. I think she's talking about that window right there, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, this is all basement. But what I do want to know is, I want to look at the listing. Or there's the comps.
Hi, babe.
Oh, it's the listing still said it had an in-ground pool, so maybe it wasn't filled in. But the word on the Crom streets was that it was filled in. Street view. Okay. Oh, this is good. This is good. If it'll let me move it. Will it let me move it? It will. No, go the other way. Nope. Go this way, please. Thank you. Keep going. No, keep going. You're going to make me actually go to Google Maps. Here. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Woo! Okay. Y'all. Hang on just a second. Are you leaving? Love you. Have a great, I almost said have a great trip. Have a great shift. Love you. Be careful. Okay. Ooh. Are you kidding me right now? Okay.
Oh my God.
You see?
Hold on, let me get my Dramamine. Let me get my Dramamine.
Behave. Okay. Right in front of here? Why? Why won't you let me do it? It won't let me do it. It's being rude. I'm not the only one, though.
QB is drunk driving, y'all.
I'm not the only one though, because they were trying to do this last night and they had the same problem. There we go. Okay. All right. So, for the love. All right. Y'all see that right there? That's the flagpole. See the
Okay.
fire hydrant right there?
Yep.
Okay. He was found like right here ish.
Mm.
Maybe laying this, it might have been going this way.
Mm.
My question also is this. Oh, was it the brother's pool that was filled? I knew somebody's pool got filled in. I know these people sold this house with a quickness, and they said they had a flood, quote unquote, in the basement and had to pull all the carpet up. Mm, and put new carpet down. Y'all saw that picture? Hold on, let me show you the new carpet. Back, go back. Oh, why won't it let me go back? If I dox myself, I'll be mad.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, sweet girl. Right here. Look at that.
Yeah.
Don't that look like brand new carpet right there?
Mm-hmm. Sure does.
Mm-hmm. They said they had a leak in the basement. They had to replace the flooring.
Baby. You'll put your Disney shoes on?
Those are so pretty. I don't know if she could even hear me. Like, I just talked to her like she can hear me. But here's my other question, and then I'll stop talking. Let me stop sharing. So here's my other question. My other question is this. They're all talking about how when they were leaving, it wasn't snowing yet. The snow was on the way, blah, blah, blah. Okay, if she hit him after midnight, right? And it snowed all night. The blizzard came in, right? So much so that it covered the lawn. How he only had 6 inches of snow on top of him?
Yeah, I don't know about all that. I don't know about that.
If that, there's still a question as to whether he had that much snow on top of him or not. The math ain't mathing.
It's pretty suspicious to me.
No, it's sussy. It's Sussy McSusserson is what it is.
Sussy McSusserson. I agree.
Sussy McSusserson. Okay, go call your wife. Why did you, ma'am?
Sorry, my thing is acting plumb wonky.
Are you on your computer or on Mickey yours?
No, I'm on Mickey's, but it's my StreamYard thing is acting stupid. Do you see it flashing?
Only when you talk, it always does that.
No, I'd have to take a video and show you what I'm talking about. It's being wonky weird.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here. This child is
Yep.
wanting these shoes on. I have to call the other one and
Okay. Love y'all. Love you. Thanks for having me. Sorry I had a little.
Where did she go? Come back.
I hate it here. I apologize for my tirade. I have collected myself. I'm gonna go finish my email and see what kind of stupidness she has. I did do an Irish goodbye, Patricia.
She sure did, Patricia.
I never knew what that was. I never knew what that was. I had no idea.
My dad has always been famous for that. Like, we would have Thanksgiving or Christmas, and he all of a sudden we'd look around and be like, "Where's Dad?" And they'd say, "Oh, he left 2 hours ago." I'm like,
My dad
"Oh,
does that, but
okay."
he goes and lays down, and you be like, they'll be like, where's Dad? Where is Dad? Where Dad went? He in the bed. No apology. Okay, fair enough, but I do feel some kind of way that I came in hot.
Why? Don't feel like that.
But I mean, I'm not really no kind of way. Well, I am. I'm in my element, is what I'm in right now, because I have my documentation. I've done my research. I've done my investigation, and now I'm going to present my case. And I like
There
it.
you go.
I like it when it works out in my favor. And she's a derp, so she's gonna be like, I don't understand what she just said to me. Oh yeah, don't you? I'm glad. I'm glad most people don't know who I am. But yeah. So and here, okay, let me just say this. I know you want to go. Let me just say this. It would be less of an issue for me if at any time in the past 3 months, 2 months that I've been on leave, that she had said to me, "How are you? Are you okay? How's PT? How's your arm? How's your back? How's your leg? How's your hip? How's your neck?" Any of those things. One of them would have been fine. No, but she can be up my butt about, "You need to go in and sign this thing."
So she's very much straight to the point, all business, no.
No, 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 mm-mm, no. She ain't all business. She don't care. She don't give two craps. So yes, QE does a good Southern goodbye. I'm gonna say goodbye and let you say do your Southern goodbye so you can go call your wife back. Love you. I will see you, I'm sure, tomorrow.
Yeah,
And
it'll be half day
y'all,
tomorrow. So we'll be Karen reading it up in the morning. And then in the afternoon, we will be daybelling it speedy wise.
all right. Um
Oh, wait. There's something else tomorrow too. Is tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow
Adam
is
Montgomery. And I think
what?
it's at 9 o'clock. It's Adam Montgomery.
Adam Montgomery.
No, wait, is tomorrow Thursday?
Yeah.
Yes. Montgomery, I know you want to go. I know you want to go. I can tell you later. I'll find it.
Yeah, just
I
tell
think
me
it's 9.
later.
I think it's 9. I think it's 9 a.m., but I want to double check.
Is that
Because it may, I think
East?
it's,
Where is that at? Are they in Florida? Where was that at?
no, but
Or
I
was
think
that?
they're Eastern. Why do I think they're on the East Coast? Because he went to Maryland.
Okay, yeah.
But
I'm pretty sure it's Eastern time then.
I think it's Eastern, but I'll double check and let you know, because it may be better to come in on Adam and watch
Yes.
the sentencing, and then
Then
go
go
to
into it.
Karen, and then we can hightail it through all the sidebars and all that. I'm not telling you how to do your thing. I'm just talking out
No,
loud.
that makes the best sense. I
If it's
mean,
at 9,
because
if it's at 9 o'clock, which apparently I'm working my internet too hard because it's stuck. It won't. So I'll look it up and I'll let you know. I think it's
alrighty.
9 a.m., but I don't know for
Yeah,
sure.
they are. Kel, they're forcing him to be there in person.
Yes.
Yes.
He was trying to get out of it. And but I think that unless he comes down with the vid or something, here it is. Adam Montgomery sentencing. I know they're asking for 56 years to life. I think he needs double that. So I'll find it and I'll text you.
All right. Thank you, babe.
All right, love you.
All
I'm
right, you
saying
guys.
bye. All right, bye.
Bye. Thanks for coming up, QB, and showing us the good stuffs. The good stuffs. The good stuffs. All right. I'm gonna get out of here. So I will talk to you later in the morning. We'll plan on doing Adam Montgomery first. And I think, yeah, New Hampshire sounds right. So that would be Eastern. So I'll probably start at maybe 8:45 ish. So ooh, Patricia says I might have to pay for that plane Wi-Fi so I can watch tomorrow. Safe travels, Patricia. Safe travels, and I hope you have enough an amazing, fantastic, super relaxing, amazing, amazing, amazing time. Okay. All right. Love you guys. Mean it, like QB says. And I'll see you in the morning. Bye, everybody. Love you.